I will be reading, given your current props. We ask that you be as creative and professional as possible without talking or injuring an excessive number of campers.
That's open to interpretation.
You can do your own sound effects, though. All right. Now, this is a story about 4 of the meanest, brashest, poorest, least competent, ill-mannered, and ill-smelling bandits in the Old West. One day, the 4 of them sat around a campfire at their hideout, warming their hands and daydreaming about the things they could buy with more money. Chris the Kid, by far the youngest, sat stroking his mustache, wondering what kind of things he could afford or do with mustache wax. Mad Dog Piggott drooled in anticipation at the thought of using saliva swabs to curtail his drooling problem. He went through handkerchiefs faster than a tumbleweed in a hurricane. Old Man Taylor fancied himself the perfectly proportioned gentleman if only he could afford a shin reduction surgery. And likewise, Mr. Rogers rubbed his reflectively smooth scalp with the hope of buying a wig, perhaps even a wig with the boyish blonde locks of his youth. The 4 of them decided that they would make one last attempt to steal what they needed for a better life. But first, they needed horses. So, they sauntered their slowest in the darkest of nights over to Hidden Valley Ranch, which was harder to find than they expected. And they stole themselves some horses. Now, they needed the perfect heist. But a stagecoach! We could rob a stagecoach, they thought. Stagecoach, that's the train. Stagecoach, stagecoach, they thought. Yes. Just the thought of all that money made Mr. Rogers rub his head, Mad Dog Piggott drool, Old Man Taylor rub his shins, and Chris the Kid fiddle with the ends of his mustache. So they rode over to the nearest stagecoach, and with much hooting and hollering and shooting and bad manners, and they robbed that stagecoach. Now there was a lot of money on that stagecoach, but not quite enough. A train, they thought. We could rob a train. Just the thought of all that money made Mad Dog Piggott rub Mr. Rogers' moon-like bald head, and Old Man Taylor fiddle with the end of the kid's mustache. Yeah. So, they rode their way to the nearest train, but before they got there, they ran into the notorious Rio Muerte de Ojos, the most deceptively evil river in the Old West. Put it down. So one by one, they took turns crossing the river. Until... and they had almost made it successfully, until Mr. Rogers' horse was swept violently away from under him downstream. The horse lived a happy life enjoying the herd of mustangs, but the bandits never saw him again. Oh yes, the evil Rio Muerte de Ojos had struck again. At a local eye patch trading post, located a few feet away from the river conveniently, they managed to barter for a new eye patch for Mr. Rogers. All right. Did I mention that Mr. Rogers' eye had been poked out during the process? Mr. Rogers. All right.
Keep going.
With no horse, Mr. Rogers had to saddle up with Mad Dog Piggott. Between the two, there was one set of good eyes. They continued their way onto the train. Well, they caught that train, and with much hooting and hollering and shooting and trick riding, they robbed that train. And stole all the money. Now, there was a lot of money on that train, but not quite enough. They needed a little bit more.
Keep going.
Well, a bank. A bank. They thought we could rob a bank. With the final heist, they could finally get the money they needed to retire and ride to the sunset. So they rode on down to the closest bank, and with much hooting and hollering and shooting and slobbering, they robbed that bank and took all the money. But this time,
Hi, Mom!
but this time the law answered back, and the sheriff was hot on their heels. And they made their escape. And they rode. Any direction they rode. And they rode. Through day and through night. And then they rode some more. Just to be sure they weren't being followed. When they finally felt safe, they rode some more. Finally, when they were really sure they were safe, they went back to their hideout and stashed all the money.
Here, I need your stash.
Then, they sat around the campfire to celebrate. Sat around the campfire to celebrate. It had been a long journey, and it hadn't been easy. They finally pulled off the plan. And as these four undeserving bandits sat around the campfire, they just felt so lucky that they lived happily ever after.
Whoa. That was the worst acting I have ever seen. I'm sorry, Florence, you have to stand up. I have my blindfold come out. This is firing squad worthy acting, really. I'm sorry, you guys think so? Yeah. High schoolers?
Hello!
So, in order to prevent you from ever ruining another spaghetti western again, firing squad, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.